Yeah, yo, sometimes you gotta go to war for what you believe in. Sometimes you gotta go to war for what it is that you want, what you see that's right. I'm about to go to war, but lyrically. War cry, baby. Yeah. Hey yo, war cries echoes in the background. That's the sound of soldiers getting ripped up and tore down. Lyrically dismantle metaphors and manhandle. Marauder with me.
Hey, yo, welcome back to another edition of Impose My Will podcast. Happy 2025, everybody. Joe, my co-host, me, the other co-host. How you doing today, big dog?
I'm doing great, brother. Feeling great. Feeling marvelous.
Yes, sir.
All this boxing news.
Yeah, man. This I mean, it's the news is in abundance, as most of you guys know that follow boxing. It's just so much going on. I mean, I feel like we're learning new things almost daily at this point. There's new stuff coming out daily. Things that we didn't think was gonna happen is happening. It looks like Errol Spence, Sebastian Fundora is looking at a late March fight. So we're very, very pleased with that, man, to see what was going on. But listen, let's jump right in, man. Me and Joe was talking right before we jumped on, looking at a couple of things that we wanted to, just bring it out and talk to y'all. So real quick, we were on the Ring Magazine's Instagram page, and this just came out 13 minutes ago. It says the Ring can exclusively reveal that Turki Al-Ashik is currently in advanced keyword advanced negotiations to finalize deals for upcoming fights with Canelo Alvarez, Anthony Joshua, Terrence Crawford, Naoya Inoue, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, Jay Apatia, Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn, Isaac Pitbull Cruz, William Zepeda, Martin Bacole, Anthony Yard, Adam Azim. So the cool thing is these names are not in order, but we pretty much know the order of who is possibly going to fight who. I just watched it was an interview with Chris Eubank Jr. He said that the deal is pretty much done with him and Conor Benn. He had been asking. It was a financial thing between those two. What the split was going to be. Him and Eddie Hearn was having issues. It looks like it was worked out. He said that fight is pretty much a done deal. So first and foremost, before we jump in, man, what's your thoughts on it saying that they're in advanced negotiation? Not just we just sat down and hung out and talked, but we're in advanced negotiation, and they put it on their official Instagram page. How you feel about that?
Well, how I feel about it? I feel that's Turki Al-Ashik tsunami. It's a takeover. He is literally changing the game. Like, it's been so much going on with boxing, with all the different promoters, from the United States, over in the UK, and Saudi Arabia, obviously, with the Riyadh group. And right now, it's like, yo, we got to fix boxing.
Right.
So you got fighters that's not getting fights. They've been talking to Turkey. They've been talking with the promoters. They're trying to get active. I mean, you got to fight to get paid.
Right.
And with this list, you're seeing the fighters want to fight. The people want to see the fights. And honestly, like, Turki Al-Ashik is like Richie Rich right now. He gets to pick the fights that he wants, and he's doing it fairly in a way that's putting money in the fighters' pockets, but it's giving the fans the fights that they want. Because these is generally the fights that he want to see as a big fan.
As a fan, yeah.
So yeah, this is great. This is like Christmas all over again for a boxing fan.
Yeah, it's important. It's it's so good that he's a actual fan of the sport
Hmm.
and that he understands and realizes the fights that the fans want to, from the fans' perspective, that want to be seen versus just, what makes sense on the business end. He's making it make sense on the business end and giving us the fights that we want to see. Before we jump into the actual topic at hand, it's interesting. Martin Bacoli, me and you've been talking about him since his last outing, right?
That's my new favorite fighter.
Right. 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 So to see him back in the mix,
Hmm.
under the wing of Turki Al-Ashik is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Very feared, very uh avoided. It's a lot of
Hmm.
stories that came out about what happened in them sparring sessions in them gyms with with other major stars in the sport of heavyweight boxing. Um, but we finally get to see him back, and it was funny because you were a couple weeks ago. You was just literally talking about him, like, yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
so what's your thoughts on that, man?
Yo, I think it's like it's perfect, but as you've been seeing what's been working behind the closed doors,
Yeah,
it kind of played out how we expected it to play out. Didn't nobody want to fight him,
yeah,
but now since he got in the talks,
yeah,
everything is setting up how pretty much how Turkey actually talked about it.
yeah,
He said he really wanted that fight in Africa,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and right now you're hearing rumor talks of Makoli fighting Ajagba,
Right,
who's also who's Nigerian.
Nigeria. Yep.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, so that could be that big fight right there, Riyadh season that they have in
Yeah,
Africa. So, and then he
yeah,
got Inoue, so we could possibly be having that Japan or China fight over there, big Riyadh
yeah.
season.
I'm with it. I'm with
Yeah.
it 100%. Um, you know, again, we haven't seen him since the Jared Anderson
Mm.
fight. Shout out to Jared Anderson. He's confirmed to be on the undercard of the Shakur fight. So we should see him very soon back in the ring. So let's get into it, man. With this list, coming out and you know, all of us, if you're a fight fan, I'm sure you've been paying attention to all of the interviews that have come from the Ring Magazine Awards, and the fact that a lot of these guys, while they were there, had the opportunity to sit down and kind of break bread with Turkey. And if you're breaking bread with Turkey, you negotiating with Turkey, essentially. Um, Terrence Bud Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. Let me start this off. So I've watched other podcasts and even myself, when we first started talking about it, I was saying I don't see it happen. I don't see it happening. It's weight classes for a reason, jumping up, blah 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 blah. Everything everybody else was saying. And so when the information came out that Turkey finally had an actual sit down, face to face sit down with both of them, not together, it was actually separate, but nonetheless sat down with both of them. Um, you know, other podcasts were still saying, they still feel like it's far fetched. They still feel like it's not going to happen. That wasn't my thoughts. When I heard that, I said, oh, this is more than likely going to happen for the simple
Yes, he
fact
did.
that yes, yes, for the simple fact that um, when you sit down with the man face to face, you know what I mean, and y'all start talking about the numbers and the venues and these different things versus through messages, through on the phone, whatever the case may be. That's a different kind of conversation. You look each other in the eye and you say, I want this, and he throws back and say, well, I can give you this, and you can negotiate face to face, cut out the middleman. Things change. Um, the word, the key word is in here is advanced negotiations, right?
Right.
So when I heard that, I knew that they had been a bit further than what people were thinking they were, right? I knew that. I knew when they sat down and said they finally sat down and have a talk, things were progressing a little bit further and more than a lot of people had had thought. So it's looking like this fight might actually really happen. And then Canelo in his interview was, he was using words. I'm a person that pick out words, right? I hear what you're saying, but I pick out key words. And one of the
Mm-hmm.
key words he kept saying was deal. Not fight, but deal, right? He was like, I'm trying to make the biggest deal happens, which says to me that Canelo, he is through and through a prize fighter. The bag is more important than the actual opponent because he feel like he's going to win anyways. He feels like he's the best fighter in the world. So negotiating the business for him is the bigger thing, right? I'm
Right.
sure fighting Bud or whomever, is great for his legacy. I think that also plays a part. But the man said deals. I'm looking to make the biggest deals happen, and he sat down with the deal maker. By the way, if y'all forgot, Turkey has put together cards and bouts between particular fighters at a record, I guess you could say speed, record timing
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
than anybody else so far in boxing. What has taken people 2 years or so to put together, he had did in from what we heard, what, days?
You gotta think. He
Yeah,
created the biggest boxing card in boxing history.
two, the two biggest boxing
Two
cards.
already. Now you're
Yeah,
about to have the third coming up this month. Well, next month.
that's me. Right, right.
So it's crazy. And to, caveat off of what you said the advanced negotiations. They was just saying the other day, like they used the word calendar year.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he has a whole story mode set up of who he want to fight, when he want to fight.
When
If you beat this fighter, then that fighter you're
where
gonna
you
get
going?
this. So he's like literally playing it out for the whole calendar year,
Yeah, yeah.
which is
This
crazy.
man is this man is running boxing right now, man.
Hmm.
This man is running boxing. This is, I mean, and he's doing very well with giving us what we want to see. Like that's always been my biggest thing with boxing. I love the sport, but the sport can kind of shoot itself in the foot a lot because sometimes we may not get the fights we want to see, for one. For two, sometimes we'll get the fights we want to see, but it's well past the prime, right?
Hmm.
It's out of the realm where the fight would have been at its best. You think Mayweather Pacquiao, right? We wanted that 5 or so years prior to. Um, look at AJ Wilder. We should have got that so many years ago. Now they're both not in the best positions career wise. It's a lot of things there that we should have got. Um, he's making these big fights right now, and that's because he got the bag. You know what I'm saying? He got the
Hmm.
money. Um, so yeah, man. What you got? Any other thoughts? Anything you want to touch on?
Going towards the end of the year, we heard a lot about Turkey is messing up boxing,
Yeah.
even though he brought us a lot of the good fights that we wanted to see.
Right.
Um, we heard a lot of negative talk to huge PBC from the huge PBC fans, pretty much. How do you feel about Turkey Al-Ashik and what he's doing for boxing now? We already done seen the changes what took place in the award show for Ring Magazine. Do you think he's still good for boxing?
I've never not felt he wasn't good for boxing. I wasn't I
Same here.
wasn't one of those people who said that he wasn't good for boxing. I thought it was a little bit ridiculous because again, he already showed us what he was possible of doing, right? He already put together cards. He already stepped in, where maybe Eddie Hearn may have not been able to get something done and he got it done. So I never thought that. Like you said, unfortunately, that was coming from people who are a bit loyalist to PBC. I'm not loyal to any promotional company. I just want to see the dopest and biggest fights. So I never thought he was bad. I always thought he was great for it because again, he got the capital that they don't have, right? He's willing to pay them what they're asking for, or at least something close, because this
Mm.
stuff wouldn't be happening if the negotiations wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of seeing like crash outs from other promotional companies. You know what I'm saying? Like what's going on over there with Top Rank. Don't look that great, in my
Right.
opinion. So I never thought he wasn't bad. Now, I'm not some Turkey loyalist, you know what I'm saying? I'm not some one of those guys who's like, "Oh, I'm behind Turkey 100%." No, I'm behind whatever promotional company is able to put the fights together, whether it be PBC or Bob Arum and them, or Matchroom, or whoever the case may be, right? We want to see the best fights, and we want to see the best fights while these fighters are in their prime, fighting against the prime opponent, and that's what I'm into, man. So yeah, I never felt
That's
that
what's
way.
up. That's what's up. That's
Yeah,
what's up.
yeah,
And
man.
out of this card, one last thing, out of all the names that was listed outside of Canelo and Bud, what is the possible fight that would be your favorite, or what fight do you want to see this year?
Um. Anyway, I want to. I want to see. Anyway has a fight coming up, but obviously,
They
this
had to
is something
restructure
different.
it because the fighter had he had to pull out, I think,
That's
injury,
right.
so they got to throw
That's
somebody
right.
else in.
That's right. So I forgot about it. Anyway is uh on the top of my pound for pound list. If he's not
Who,
number one, he's damn sure close.
who
Um,
you want to see him fight?
I don't know. I'm not even sure. Um, the pickings is a bit slim due to his weight class. As far as major fights down there. Um, I just want to see him fight. I just want him to be on the Riyadh card, and I want to see him get the shine, you know, in other countries, and and other fans, so they can see what we get to see. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
And I don't want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to see it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it doesn't really matter who he fights. Um, you know, even a rematch with Cool Boy Steph would be dope. But it really doesn't matter who he fights. So him, and then I would say, I know you ain't asked for a second, but I give you a second.
Mm.
Um, I'm interested in what AJ is gonna do. Um, Tyson Fury just supposedly announced his retirement in the car. So I
Yeah,
was thinking that was naturally the fight. But it could be a rematch with Dubois, or they could just push him right in the way to fight Usyk. Who knows? So I'm interested to see where he's at. I feel like he's, I don't know. I know he doesn't feel this way, but I feel like he's coming towards the later
mm.
stages of his career. So I'm interested in seeing what they're gonna do with him.
But all right, we'll wrap this one up.
Yeah, man. Yo,
Yeah, I mean.
this was a good one, man. It's a lot. It's a lot happening. Impose my will, y'all. We'll be right back with you. Peace.